week, but I'm going to show you exactly what's been going on my road to 10K a month through a content agency. 2 contracts can get me there this month, but it's not as glamorous as other journeys from other people on social media make it look. I'm here to show you what it looks like for real. So yeah, recently on my walks, just going around the block here in East Austin, I've been seeing these flowers in Texas called blue bonnets. And you know, normally I'm not about like all these flowers and all this like, I don't know, this woo-woo stuff. But these flowers represented a time when I was at my lowest of lows. Like even lower than the point I'm experiencing this week. And this week has been brutal. Last year, I took the biggest leap of my life to go down to Texas and work for one of my idols at the time. I was being mentored as the head editor, directly under him. That was the absolute dream for me. But in truth, I was completely lost and I had no idea what I was doing. Locking myself for hours, like literally hours in a room, editing for days on end. I had rented this little room in a small house with 4 other people. But I really avoided these other people because they represented the life I didn't want to live, right? They were still drinking, smoking, doing all these stupid things, not really seeking their fullest potential. And I didn't want to go back into that hole. But with all this isolation and all this solitude, came a lot of time to think. I had too much time to wallow about my past and what I could have done differently. I had way too much time to think about my place in this life, too much time to wallow on my past mistakes and what I could have done differently to be better prepared for this incredible opportunity. I had genuinely never been so depressed, and for the people watching back home who know me, like I do not use that word lightly. But what kept me going was these little local bike paths and these little parks around the neighborhood that I would walk to and kind of look at the skyline and look at the people and look at the nature. And every time I took these walks and these bike rides with a little shitty marketplace bike, it would just be this relief. But one thing's for sure is that those blue bonnets were there in every field. Every time I walked out, every time I needed that breath of fresh air to like escape from that depressing zone I was in. And now the funny thing is that those flowers used to represent hope in a very, very dark time. But now when I see them walking around the neighborhood, they represent a time where I pushed past obstacles, where I pushed past very, very difficult times, where I was away from my love, my family, my friends, everything that I knew, everything, and I still pushed through. And so these flowers represent resilience and strength in a time that was, for most, a place to give up. And you know, the point I'm trying to make is that it's not just all about this blue flower, you know, that I like walk past every once in a while. It's about telling the world who you are in moments of darkness, in moments of like, where the fuck am I? Because if you don't, the world will tell you who you are in that moment. To give you an example, when I was a kid back in elementary and high school, I went through a very, very challenging time developing like acne all over my face. Like people would say it looked like a mask. And in high school, that destroyed my confidence. And when I was a kid, I was very, very shy already. And I really had to push back this social anxiety that everybody feels, right? And so at the time, the world had told me, Will, you're the shy kid with acne. I had to tell it, I am the most popular kid in school. You know, at the time, it was a bit out of insecurity, right? I wanted to be the best, I wanted to be the most loved. And it's like, I told the world who I was and I became it. I could have been the kid with acne, I could have been the guy in the back of the class that no one knew. And I told the world who I was and I acted as it. Later in high school, I was very good in running. And so I wasn't the best in school. So people would tell me, hey, Will, you know, you're not too intelligent. Focus on something that, you know, maybe like construction that requires physical ability that you might be superior at. And so the world told me, oh, you don't really have the brains. Go into something that's physical. But then when I went to college, I told them, no, I am the best in the class. And so I proved them wrong again. I became the best in the class. I was on honor roll and I was on the dean list at the end of the year. I told the world otherwise. I told the world who I wanted to be. And then when I was working for these big creators, they would say, Will, you're an editor. And I was like, deep in my heart, no, I'm a host. I'm not meant to be behind the camera. I'm meant to be in front of the camera. I'm meant to be part of something bigger. And now the world tells me I'm a filmmaker. They label me, they box me in. I'm like, no, I'm a visionary. I build businesses. I build YouTube channels. I build Instagram channels, right? I help others do the same thing. And the point I'm trying to make is that like, I had to tell the world who I was. No one was gonna do it for me. And if someone did, I wouldn't believe them. I had to choose for myself. This isn't about lying to yourself. It's about claiming your potential before other people set limitations on you. It's about having the courage to step into the identity you want to embody, into the person you want to be. And you know, I'm sharing this because I know I'm not the only one facing this. The world is constantly telling me and you how to live our lives and who we are. I'm consistently and constantly always choosing who I am on a daily basis. And I'm the only one that can make that choice. So yeah, if you're in a dark place right now, remember those blue bonnets. Sometimes you gotta go through these really shitty, harsh winters to have these flourishing summers. You kind of have to do it. One doesn't exist without the other. Anyways, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Like, this is a new thing I'm trying out. I did this video style in the past, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys next week. Peace. I'm officially 50% towards my mark. Oh my gosh. 50% towards my goal with 3 more weeks on the clock. Holy.